Welcome back to the channel. So let's try solving this election results problem. It is a medium category problem and it was asked in Deloitte and Google coding interview. And let's try solving this using SQL. So we will solve the PySpark and Pandas version in our next video. You can find the solution link uh, uh, video description in the description section. So let's have a look at the data first. So we have the voting results. We have only one table, okay, in this problem. And here we can see that we have the voter and candidate. These two columns are given. Let's have the preview of the data. Okay. So here we have the voter and candidate. So it's like which voter has given the vote to which candidate. So here we can say that Kathy has not given to vote to the any of the candidates. So that's why here we have the null value. Charles, we can see here we have three records and he has given the vote for the multiple people like Ryan, Christine and Kathy. So and so forth. So like a voter can give votes to the multiple candidates. Okay. So now let's have a look at the expected output. So if we see like candidate who won the result. So basically in this question we have been asked to find who the name of the user who won this election. So if we see this Christine has won the election. Okay, so we need only one column. So this should be pretty easy to solve. So let's have a look at the problem statement. The election is conducted in a city and everyone can vote for one or more candidate. Okay, so we saw here, right? So each voter can vote multiple candidates or he or she has a like freedom to not to vote anyone. Okay, so here we can say that Kathy has not voted anyone like so or choose not to vote to at all. Each person has one vote. So if they vote for multiple candidates, their votes get equally split across these candidates. For example, if a person vote for two candidates, these candidates will receive an equivalent of 0.5 vote each. Okay, so it's like let's say I have a candidate X and it has a vote value of 1, right? And he wishes to vote for Q and let's say Z, right? So if he is voting for two people, then the value each candidate will receive is zero point 0.5 and zero point 0.5, right? Because the maximum value is 1. Okay. So in a similar way, let's say we have a Z, candidate Z, and he has a voting value as 1, and he chooses to vote only one candidate, that is A. Then he will receive 1 as a value, like voting value. In a similar way, let's check one more example. Let's say we have a candidate D, and he chooses to vote. Uh, okay, let me put one here. He chooses to vote A, B, and C. Okay. So since he has voted for three people, then each people will receive 0.33 vote, right? Because 1 divided by 3 is 0.33. So likewise, we need to like compute the vote value for each and every candidate and then decide the maximum uh, uh, valued people, right? So whosoever has got the maximum vote, that person will win. So here, if we see that Christian, according to this data, basically, the Christian has got the maximum vote, so that's why he is the winner. Let's read out the remaining part of the problem. So find out who got the most vote and won the election. Output the name of the candidate or multiple names in case of a tie. Okay, so we can have the multiple people with the same vote, right? And in that case, in case of a tie, we need to print all those names. To avoid the issue with the floating point error, you can round the number of votes received by the candidate to 3 decimal places. Okay. So basically, while dividing the data, like how this is 1 divided by 5. So basically, if we divide 1 divide by 5, so we need to just use the round function so that we don't get that floating values to the longer precisions, right? So we just need to reduce it to 3. So for this, we will use the round function. So let's try solving this using SQL. Let's start with the question. Let's have the preview first of the data here by running this query. So, okay, so here we can see that this data is there. Okay, so there are few rows where like Paul has not voted for anyone here we can see. Okay, so this is interesting problem. Let's start solving. Okay, so first what we can do, for each, like here we know that each voter has voted for multiple candidate, or there can be a scenario where voter has not voted anyone. Okay, so let's first find out uh, each voter like have voted for how many people, and if we get that, then what we can do, we can have 1 divided by that count, right? So then we will get the value for each voter. Okay, so let's do that. So we can do the group by on voter column, right? Group by voter, and here we can do count of candidate, right? As we can name as vote count. Okay, and let's run this. Okay, so we have the error. Okay, so group by, here we need to put a space. Okay, here we can see that Andrew has voted for 2 people. Like here, Victor, can we can see that he has not voted anyone, by the way, and Nancy has voted for 5 people. So okay, now we have the vote count for each voter. So for the vote value, what we can do, we can like divide the vote count, right? 1 divided by vote count will give the vote value, how we saw the examples, right? So here only we can do that. We can just have this one, 1 divided by 1 divided by count of candidate, right? And okay, let's okay. So there can be scenario. So basically, to avoid the integer divide by integer case, we just need to multiply with 1.0, and let's name this as vote value. Okay, vote value. Mm, divide by 0 case. Okay. So in that case, divide by 0 is there. So what we can do? Um, okay. So let's not do this here. Let's create the CT out of this. Okay, let's do all these things in the next step. So basically, we got the divide by 0 issue, right? Because we saw some of the voter have not voted for anyone. So let's filter that data and then do this one. Okay, so let's do select from CT where, and we don't want this data, right? Vote count is not equal to 0, and then what we can do, we just need to do the star, and we basically we need both this column, and then 1 divided by vote count, right? And we can like multiply here 1.0 to avoid the integer divide by integer issue, and let's have the column name as vote value. Okay, let's run this. Okay, now we can see here. So Andrew has given the vote to 2 people. That's why the vote value is 0.5. And here, if you see, Edward has given the vote for 3 people. That's why the vote value is 0.33, right? So let's round this one to the 3 decimal place. So for that, we can use this round function, round this up to 3 decimal place. Okay, let's run this. Okay, okay. Now we have the vote value for each voter. Now, what's next? So what we can do, we can join this data with the original data to have the vote value corresponding to the each voter, right? So for each voter, like here we have the Kathy. Here he has not voted, but there is possibility that he must have voted for other user, right? So for that, we can join based on this voter with this original table to get this voter value, right? So let's do that. So let's create this another CT2, and okay. So let's do select from CT2 as T1, inner join uh, let's copy paste as T2. We need to just join on this voter, right? Because this is the common column. T1 dot voter equal to T2 dot voter. And let's have only the column which we need. So we can have the T2 dot voter, basically all the voter. So T2 dot voter, comma. We are only interested in this vote value, right? So we can have T1 dot vote value. Okay, let's run this. Okay, now we have the vote value for everyone, right? So here we can see, like here we can see that Kathy has given the vote for 4 people. Here in this record, it was not there, but there is possibility in down we might have some record for Kathy. So okay, now we have this one. What we can do now next? Okay, so we need the candidate column also, right? So let's have this one also from T2 dot candidate, right? Okay, now we have those, right? So now we have the candidate and the vote value, right? So basically, if we see, we don't need now the voter column, right? Because the next step should be we can group the data based on the candidate and find the vote value, right? So let's remove this one also for the sake of understanding. So we have like for the each candidate we have the vote value, right? So what's next we can do? We can just create one more CT. So CT3 as, and let's group the data based on vote candidate. So group by candidate, and here we can put the candidate, and we need the sum, right? Because we just need to count like sum up the vote value as total value. Let's run this. Okay. Okay, yeah. So here we can see that we got the vote value for each candidate which they have received. So here if we see, let's order this data. So let's order this. Order by uh, this column and in the descending order. Okay. Okay. So here if we see, Christian have got the highest vote value, right? And in the output also, if we see, the Christian has like won this election. So since we only interested in the most voted person, so what we can do here, um, we can just put limit, right? Limit 1, right? So that we can get only the first record. Okay, okay. So we got only one record. And if we see the output, we just need only one column, the candidate column, right? So what we can do, we can remove this. Okay, so if we remove this, okay, let's do this all the steps in the next CT. So let's have one more CT4 as, and then select from CT4, select star from CT4. Okay, we have all this, and as I said, we are only interested in first row, then we can do the limit one, and okay, so we got this one, and we are only interested in the name of the candidate because we need that only in the output. So instead of star, we can have the candidate column, right? Okay, got it. So let's try submitting this. Okay, so this got accepted. So yeah, we have solved this. So we learned a lot of things. Like we broke down the problem in multiple cities and solved this. So yes, for the pandas and the PySpark version of this problem, you can find the link in the description section. So yeah, if you like this content, then please do like, subscribe, and share in the channel. Thank you.